Generally, people are scared of Kali. How it is connected with transformation?
I believe that people are scared of Kali. That is because a lot of people tell me that you should not be keeping Kali murtis at home, or people should not be practicing Kali sadhana at home. Maybe to some extent it is right. I wouldn't say it is wrong completely, because if people are not ready for change, for those people it is not the practice. Say somebody is going through a very bad time and is comfortable in that place, so is there at home and getting all the nonsense that is happening around them. They are used to the domestic violence, they are used to people abusing them, using them in some way. A lot of women you see in India who are used to it, they will not even go anywhere to complain or get help from anyone. They wouldn't do all that. So, for such people who are not interested in the transformation, they should not be touching Kali at all, because getting Kali into your life is like a boomerang, it's like a roller coaster ride. She will clean you like in the washing machine, okay? The roller coaster, the spinning that happens in the washing machine, and then she'll dry you there. And then you will see that everything is changed around you. The people have changed, everything will go away from around you. You just think about a spinner that happens, it will keep everything away in force. So your friends, you lose your friends, you lose the close people that you have, you will see the reality of people. You will see that somebody you have trusted the most has hurt you the most. You will see all these harsh realities of life. That is what Kali does. She is not interested to give you sugar coated words. For that you should go to some other goddess who is like little docile. But as far as Kali is concerned, she will change your life. She will turn you upside down and change your life. So a lot of people are not ready for that transformation. But I think if you are looking for change, can there be any change without transformation or without change? Say I am not happy with the job that I have, and I am going and praying in a temple that I want a certain job. I want a job which is going to be highly satisfying for me and it will give you good results. Then if I lose that job, if I lose my current job, then where is the problem? You might think that I have gone to the temple but I have lost my job, or I have gone to the temple, I wanted this and my boyfriend has gone. I went for this and my husband I found with somebody else. How can you say all that? That is because you asked for that change. You asked her for a change, and then if you're not ready for the change, to get another job you need to lose one job. And you have to keep faith. You have to have that faith formula, I would say, because for any kind of change you have to create that change. If you want something new in your life, you need to make space for it and you have to remove your old things from there. Say for example, we are talking in this life and you get interested in any of the spiritual services, whichever, does not really matter. I am not only advocating Kali and her yoginis, I am talking about any spirituality, be it the universe, be it Shiva, be it Krishna, be it Jagannath, be it the yoginis, whoever. If you find your path where you live, you will directly be connected in your next life in the same kind of way where you left this life, and you will take birth in the next family who will help you in your journey. You will be born in a family which can educate you properly, give you that knowledge that you require to learn and continue with that journey. Because see, I always felt that my journey is with Kali has been for probably many lives. Otherwise, why am I born in a family which has my ancestors into the Kali practice? They have been for generations doing this. How did I do that? And my interest was not even there as a child. My interest was like everything can be explained scientifically. But then there was a time when things changed. We have that concept, we want to see before we believe. And I saw there are many things which I have experienced which cannot be explained. And not only me, and I'm sure there are like thousands and millions of people who go through the same thing that I go through, but they don't have a way out. We are all looking for somebody who would come into your life or in our life to connect us to that dot. And always everything is like pre-planned. today that we are discussing this also. I feel very glad that I am discussing with you somebody who has a belief and somebody who has the faith, somebody who has gone through his own journey, because you can relate to it. Then, as you said, you can relate to it because those things were not good for you. That friend circle or that circle was not for your best or highest good. So you had to go to the next level of your life, to go to the next prosperity of your life. So you have to grow. Unless you leave your old things, you cannot grow. And just imagine, even if you're going up a staircase, if you don't let your feet off the ground, you have to let both your feet off the ground when you're going up. You can't say I have one foot on the ground and the other feet on top. You can't climb like that. So you have to let go and then climb up. And what is that called? That is called faith. And there is no other option. So I think when we talk about Kali, I have this feeling that comes from within me that today, in the yuga that we are in Kali Yuga. Nothing is easy in today's world, but spirituality certainly is, because in this yuga, it is easiest for you to connect to the deities, even if you give this much of time. If you give small time and small effort, a lot can happen. And I would like to put in a word about Jagannath. Jagannath has got huge eyes like magnifying glasses. And I was told by somebody, and I simply agree to that any small thing that a person does, he sees it in a huge way. That is why he's got eyes like that. And he connects to you and he can actually expand your vision in his own eyes so that you grow further. So I think the small things that we do for others and for us so that it can help us grow, it will make marked difference in your life and others' lives too.
Yeah, that's why I think everything is one side and belief system is one side.
Absolutely. Faith, if you have faith, you can conquer the world. A lot of people say that if this happens, then I will believe that. If that happens, then I will believe this. But that is not faith. If I am saying that water mixed with milk, automatically I'll not be able to do that unless I go through a distillation process, which is in chemistry. So that means you have to take everything in a very, very normal way, and you have to, like our thumb, if we don't have our thumb, can you lift up any object easily? Maybe you can lift up a light object, but would you be able to lift up any object without your thumb? So this thumb is like the God that we believe in, or the support system that we have. So that thumb is required for you to do marvelous things with your hands.
So how people are responding to your book?
I think the response is good. The book has reached across the sea, and a lot of I'm very glad to know that a lot of foreigners and people in the foreign land are interested in the book, and that means Kali is getting famous, our yoginis are getting famous, our old ways of life are getting famous, and it gives me immense pleasure and a feeling of gratitude that people are learning things and they are in a mode of change, because we need change in today's world.
Next, Veils of Bhairav. What would you like to say about this?
After completing this book, I thought there are certain things which have gone incomplete and people would like to go beyond the veils of the dark goddess. So what is beyond Kali and what happens beyond Kali? What do we see beyond that? And there's a very important character that comes up whenever we talk about Kali, because we cannot separate her from her counterpart and her protector or her guard, which is Bhairav. And so I thought of writing this book where we are going to talk about Bhairav, different aspects of Bhairav. There are many aspects of every energy. Whenever we talk about an energy, be it Kali, be it Bhairav, be it Krishna, if you look at them, you have their 1,000 names. Now why do you have 1,000 names?
Why?
If you have 1,000 names, that means you have 1,000 different attributes to you. Each name would have a different attribute. Like we call you Raj, what do they call you at home? They would call you something else. So you have only one attribute.
Yeah.
So if you, for example, if you have another name that somebody would call you lovingly, you would become that energy. So you would not become the same person. You are not the same probably at home, or you're not the same with your co-workers. You're not the same with your mother. You're not the same with your father. That is the exact change of energy that is there when somebody is changing the name. So we have to understand all these energies, all these ancient energies have got different attributes. We can connect to different attributes depending on what our energy is. So that is what I wanted to talk about in the next book. I wanted to talk about Bhairav as the guard, the omnipresent guard. Wherever the Devi is, he is present there. And what are his different forms? We have many forms of Bhairav which probably people don't know about. And I want to make things easier for people to understand, and putting in languages which is easier for people to fathom these days. So people can read that book and understand the complexities of something in the past and get it in a more simpler language right now.
That's great. Wish you all the best for your more writing in a coming future.
Thank you.